I'd enjoy these little chats. Chewy ran us up from the original location. He was not satisfied with something going on in the woods, so we moved, and he is actually in the house. Okay, and it's time to get serious. I have a lot of different people that I speak with and interact with, that we share, we support, and we have not in exactly the same view or perception or experience necessarily, but we understand the functionings of the higher realms and higher dimensions. And everybody always tells me, why don't you share this? Why don't you share this? And I'm very loath to share it because it's difficult. You get tired of people calling you crazy, and you get tired of trying to get people to just hear what you have to say, where it's not like you're telling them what to do, but they're truly interested in what you have to say. And there's the ones that you can just see them rolling their eyes, and that's very discouraging. So you start keeping those things to yourself. With current things going on, and people remind me sometimes of things that I said to them that they're noticing now. And so I feel like now is the right time to share some information. Where do I get my information? Well, that's interesting in itself. My information comes down from higher dimensions. And no, it is not channeled. What it is, okay, every time that we've come down a dimension, we've still retained the aspect of ourself in the higher dimension. You see, in order to come down and have these experiences, that's exactly what we did, was we came down. Well, it's great to know that it's been discovered that you can now access those dimensions going back up. Yes, it is possible. So that's where my information comes from. I'm very active in 7th dimension and 8th dimension. 7th dimension being the guides, oversoul, archangels. That's where a lot of my healing and my warrior stance comes from because I'll fight to the death. But because there is no death, you just get to try it again in a different way. So, and then my healing and what some people call magic, it's alchemy is what it is, that comes from Raphael. So that's the 7th dimension. The 8th dimension, the activity that I have there involves the planet Logos, which is the blueprint and design for everything which involves the cycles and ascension of the planetary bodies. That is why the 7th and 8th dimension are so connected, because the 8th dimension and the 7th dimension kind of help a being plan, what's going to happen, what do they need to accomplish, what will be available when, in the astrological cycle and energies to have their experience. I know this sounds crazy. I used to be the same way. But hang with me for a while. Also, there's the 8th dimension Arcturians. And I do have, that's a starseed family, race, whatever you want to call it. But that is, an ET for all our purposes. But I do have that connection and that communication. So, that from them I get healing and energy knowledge. That's what I bring down from them. And I'll explain something in just 1 minute. With the Elohim, that's like right next there to source. If you follow the Bible version, it says in God made the Word. Well, the Word was the Elohim. They are what causes energy to hold physical form, to hold form. That's the key. That's the magic in there. so to say. When you go there, you access source, and that's where you get all healing and all knowledge, but it only comes through what is appropriate for what's going on in an individual's experience. I say timeline stuff because there's no time and there's no line in that existence. But for me, what happens is I see the progression of a cycle or a shift, and I see the intricacies in it. And it's all energy. Now, in these higher dimensions, these higher dimensions are different. When you are, okay, we're talking about the fifth dimension. The fifth dimension is where you can have awareness and function in both, your physical and your non-physical form. When you get, pretty much up above that, there it's more natural to be in the non-physical form. And one of the reasons that it's so difficult to have this information, even when you've made a connection with the higher dimensions, is because there's not really communication, because you're part of the all, and you just know. It's like when one knows, the other knows, but there is no one and the other. There's just the all. It happens simultaneously in like every cell and every atom, every molecule, every single little tiniest particle you can think of. So that's kind of how that works, and that's something that's hard to grasp, and that'll come in time. And it's like I said, it sounds crazy, right? I know. I would have been concerned for the soul of a person that told me this back when I was going to church. I was completely dedicated, Pentecostal holiness, and I would have prayed for them. I'd have been concerned for their soul. Then things happened, and I became aware and open to what I now see as the reality. Things kept lining up and proving themselves, and I couldn't deny it. There was confirmation over and over, time and again. So all the layers of my experience make sense now. Each one had a purpose, a progression in the process. Nothing is a coincidence. Nothing. Everything, everyone experience, every moment even, is a stitch in the intricate, beautiful tapestry. This incarnation, this life experience, is a thread in a design on the grand tapestry. So we can get into that another time. That's a beautiful thing that I've experienced too. But my dedication to my church and religion, it was a step in my process to the point where I am now. I feel like I'm me still, but I'm vibrating at a higher frequency. I remember experiences back then, and they make a current experience clear to me. So if you think about it like math, you learn the numbers, then you learn to add and subtract, then you learn to divide and multiply, and then you can start to see patterns in the numbers. You start to understand how they behave, so to say. And that's kind of what this is, this expansion of consciousness, expansion of awareness, because it is an expansion. You're expanding back to the higher levels. And I hate using levels and higher, but you have to think of it like that, because it's a series of steps. Am I still growing? Most definitely. We all are still growing. All of us. And as the whole, all of us together, we are growing. It's all energy and it's all cycles. We're moving to another step in the process, shifting timelines, if you will. We're evolving collectively. I don't see it that way when I access the info in the higher dimensions. It's a shift to a different experience. It's like an exploration. I hope you guys can hear me over the wind. But for this experience, shifting timelines is the appropriate phrase to use. So it's like some are running alongside and we need to reach our hand out and give them a hand up. You know, we're on the train and it's leaving and they're missing the train, but they're right there at it. See, the train left a minute early. It's kind of how it happened. Things just aligned so perfectly and so many people participated that the shift kind of got a boost. So some are also leaving now to come back and be in a better circumstance to handle something they needed to handle energetically and spiritually. Walk-ins are needed because people are foreseeing not accomplishing something, and if they leave, then the ones in their circle that were helping each other, they need somebody to step up. They're all scrambling to make it happen. Sounds like a familiar thing going on somewhere. Our dimensions mirror each other in some ways because some cycles transcend all of the dimensions. So remember that there could be common themes in all different dimensions. In some dimensions, you just have a fuller picture of what it is. So that's going on. The shift is receiving, like I said, so much energetic support than anticipated. These individual, if you will, experiences, they have to be adjusted so that they can make the shift. So this requires interdimensional cooperation. That's why there's going to be a lot of accessing other dimensions for people right now. This is a time on Earth to reach out to give help and to reach out to receive help. No judgment. It's a time of learning. It's a time of new experiences. It's a time of compassion. It's a time of coming into right relationship with creation. And there's a lot of souls, a lot of beings out there that are ready to help, and they're just filled with love and excited, and they want you, as part of the experience in the next leg of the journey. And just know, for all of you out there struggling, looking for a new perception, a different answer, we are here, and we want to help you. This is going to be so much fun. This is hope. This is the brand new chance. So I love you all. And by the way, this message came through this morning, and when I looked, it was exactly 12 p.m. This is just kind of weird. It struck me strange. So I love everybody. This is just food for thought. I hope that it gets you thinking and start to explore some things you've wondered about. I welcome all your questions. Bring them on. I ask you to please share this because this is about getting the word out. There are some of us out there that are really ready and standing right here ready to help those that are grasping at straws and just really struggling with what's going on. So I love you all. Please like, share, subscribe. I use all the help I can get, and know that you're in my heart until the next time. And there will be another video coming up very soon. I'm going to record it now. Much love, everybody. Stay safe, stay well. Bye.